Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Ritt. I'm an artist and a tarot reader, and today I thought I would talk to you all about how we're connecting to one another individually, collectively, as a collective, how we are connecting to each other. And for myself, as a tarot reader, I'm always pulling cards just to see where I'm at moment to moment, because it's always shifting. And today, I drew the devil. And the devil is a much scarier looking card than really what it signifies, because it always comes back to those oh so human things that we grapple with. So anxiety, fear, control, that's a big one. So for me, what I'm recognizing in myself is that there are times when I very much keep myself to myself, and it would actually be that much more satisfying and life-giving to connect with all of you. And so that's the way the devil is reading for me today, for myself. So what I thought I'd do here is look at us more broadly as a collective, where we're at these days in terms of how we connect to one another, which has changed so much since the pandemic. So many technological methods have been amplified and can just loom so large, which is an interesting thing, especially for those of us who are living alone these days. So yeah, again, I thought I would look at us as a full collective, how we're connecting, and then also just do a separate part of the reading for those of us who are living with others and how we're connecting, and for those of us who are living alone and how we're connecting and what we're reflecting on. So, the first part of our reading, there's a very intense layer of information here. This is all fire. Ten of Wands is about really feeling the weight of things. And interestingly, Six of Wands, which signifies victory, personal triumph, pride, there's still a weightiness to it. And what I realize as I'm looking at this particular layer is that we are really feeling the weight of trying to rise above. And ultimately, we're finding new ways of rising above. And that also means rising above our own inner demons. I mean, in the same way that I could have just kept myself to myself, I decided not to do that. And in that way, it's kind of my own personal victory to be here with you today reading for you. So there is a weightiness, there's a load we're carrying because these are such intense times, right? But we're also succeeding in new ways because these are such intense times that are catalytic for this kind of personal victory in new form. Now, the second layer of this part of the reading, we have some more cards that can really throw you off just to look at them. So here we have Seven of Swords. Swords are air. This card is kind of a tricky energy. There's a feeling of getting away with something or trying to. Sometimes it's about not being honest with ourselves. Here it's in reverse, and it's across from my favorite card of the day, the Devil. And so I feel like it may be that we're grappling with things we have a harder time looking at within ourselves as well. And again, this period of time, it's ripe for that, because like so many others have pointed out, we are forced to go inward, or at least become closer to what it is to be inward. Not all of us are there, but there is kind of a wrestling with the things within ourselves that may not be as comfortable to look at or own or accept. So it's an interesting combination of, you know, finding ways to rise above. You know, if it's a difficult Facebook post and maybe the best thing to do is not respond, and that's a way of rising above. But then how are we reflecting internally, and you know, what kinds of dialogues are going on internally? You know, that's where some of this energy and some of the struggle to really be honest with ourselves and own even some of this energy can come up. Now, right in the middle of this section of the reading is Five of Cups. Now, this card keeps coming up for us because we are shedding a lot, you know? So that's actually, I feel like it can be a really beautiful thing to be able to feel the weight lift off of us, you know? And here we have water in the cups. So water always relates back to the emotional undercurrent of things, relates back to psychically, you know, these are psychic burdens that we've been carrying, whether we know it or not, you know, and I think some of us are naturally more aware of that component to our daily lives. Some of us would prefer to be more outward, or naturally more outward, and so this isn't as apparent an energy even as it's there. So for some of you, it may be about feeling some of our connections drift, even just turning away from what feels like it's lost right now. That's also a thing, you know? Finding ways to cope and maintain some kind of balance, or even remind ourselves that we have a balance to maintain that's still working. There are things that are still working for us day to day. So yeah, there is a focus on things that are being shed, and that's okay. But also I feel like the more life-giving side to this energy is feeling the profound release of negative energies, of patterns with other people that haven't served us, that maybe we're ready to let fall by the wayside. Even if it's like in one of my other videos, even if this is directly about a grieving process, to just allow ourselves to be in it and let it pass. There's something very, very freeing and actually life-giving and uplifting about letting that process happen and pass through us naturally. So then, for those of us who are on our own during this pandemic, who feel like you don't have the immediate comfort of turning to somebody else who is physically there, this section of the reading is for you guys. And what I'm seeing is that there's some frustration in reflecting on the connections that aren't working, you know, whether those are online or with relatives or people who are obviously outside of your home life. There is this feeling of reflecting in a way that feels maybe even kind of barbed. So this part of the reading tells an interesting story, and I'm going to show you first the middle part of this section, because it doesn't really feel linear. It feels like it starts with the middle. So right in the middle, we have 5 of Swords. Now again, swords are air, so they relate to the mind. This is a feeling of, this is a sharper energy. This is a feeling that things need to change. And in some ways, those changes are already taking place. There is that feeling of being at a turning point with this energy, but also making very sharp, kind of angular assessments about things. And really, I mean, it's a battle scene, so there is a sharpness to that energy, really. The words that are coming to me actually are, been there, done that, which is interesting. This card is right above Tower reversed. Now to me, Tower is all about really powerful revelations, things that just blow your mind, temporarily mess with your entire sense of what's real and what isn't real. That can be in bigger contexts or in smaller contexts, but there's that sensation of something breaking apart, whether that's doubt or fear, or whether that's something that you relied on for stability, that's been shifting beneath your feet without you even being able to realize or understand until it breaks apart. So here it's reversed. Here I feel as if those of you living on your own have been going through some profound revelations. That's what this feels like. And whatever this collective of situations is, it's forcing you to reassess. It's forcing you to look at things differently and assess how you want them going forward. Now, this guy, 5 of Swords, is looking out at 6 of Cups reversed. 6 of Cups is a really lovely, kind of balanced, sharing, warm, childlike energy. It can also signify the past, and here it's in reverse. And I feel as if whatever assessing is going on here, you're looking at things that have happened between you and other people. So this is like a really sharp reflecting on past situations with other people, and maybe just very recently past. Now, this energy is right on top of Queen of Cups reversed. And so, Queen of Cups, now all of this is water, cups are water. Queen of Cups at her highest knows things psychically, has that warm empathy, is in tune with her inner knowing. Here it feels as if whatever transpired in this connection, there was either a haziness or an emotional upset or something that left you feeling dissatisfied on a deeper emotional level. So some kind of hurt or sadness that took place between you and another person. And what transpired was just this feeling of recognizing, aha, something needs to change. Now, behind this energy, we have Seven of Pentacles reversed on top of Ace of Pentacles upright. So this actually clues me into some kind of a timeline here. This is earth energy. Pentacles are earth. They often speak to the material realm, but also the manifested actuality of something. So this guy is waiting for things to come to fruition. And that could just as easily be he's waiting for his ideas to develop. You know? The way this reads to me is that this revelation may not have felt like it came overnight because there's been some rumination. This energy has been in progress. But with that, it feels like something powerful is in the process of yielding itself to you. And so this card is always about opportunity in one sense or another. It may be that there is a really beneficial outgrowth to all of the difficulty that you're experiencing now in having to look back at these past relationships. And revelations are always beneficial in one way or another. So for those of you living alone right now, I feel as if you're going through some really powerful changes that are actually going to be profoundly beneficial. And superficially, they involve other people. But give yourself credit for arriving at what you've arrived at and then watching something really beautiful manifest from what you've arrived at. That's you. That's your connection with your divine spirit. So, yeah, good for you guys. I know this has been a really intense time and extra intense with you being out there on your own, but you're never really as alone as you feel. So, the next part of this reading is for those of you living with other people, whether they're partners, husbands, wives, children, any family. And I use family in the broadest, most communal sense. Yeah, our experience is definitely different, and there are different challenges there. So let's take a look at that. So what I'm seeing here is Seven of Cups reversed above Two of Cups. Now this is a quintessential relationship card, be it a close connection with a friend, a partner, again, husband or wife kind of partner. There is a beautiful intimacy and balance to this energy. Two is about balance anyway, so here there's also that feeling of emotional balance. Interestingly, this card speaks to confusion and overwhelm. and sometimes just lots of different choices available. That can be a wonderful thing, or it can be a terrifying thing. Here it's on its head. And the way this feels to me is that there's been some confusion within relationships. There have been some things to work out with those closest to us that are in our immediate vicinity. And actually, similar to the Tower, we have this energy. Now, here we have swords. Again, swords are air. They speak to the mind. Three of Swords so often speaks to pain, unhealed wounds. It can be clarifying, and maybe that sometimes provides a modicum of comfort, but there's still pain. Now, this energy is right below death, reversed. Death, getting all the big scary looking cards today. Death signifies profound change. It's that Scorpio energy which goes deep. I myself am a Scorpio. I know that the intensity and the depth of this kind of change. Sometimes it can be literal death. More often than not, it's just really profound change that we're going through. So the way this reads to me is that the time is ripe for these kinds of catalytic experiences that can actually bring up our wounds and allow us to move toward healing our wounds as well. So, whatever confusion there's been between ourselves and our loved ones, the time is ripe to have things kind of come to a head in order for them to be, in order for our own wounds to be taken care of and healed. And this is deep transformative work that we're in the process of undergoing for ourselves. Now, this part of the reading does feel like a progression, because it is actually moving from right to left. Here we have Eight of Swords. This energy speaks to the limitations of our thinking, which I know I am not the first person to say. Any kind of anxiety, blocked thinking, fear, any one way in which our thoughts are limiting us. This energy is on its head, and the sun is on top of it. The sun, fire energy of course, speaks to newness, clarity, happiness. It's the embodiment of joy. And I feel as if there's that element of personal triumph here, as if we've triumphed over our own limited thinking and anxiety and allowed ourselves to heal. So, for those of you living with other people and undergoing this kind of work, good on you for being able to really allow the process to happen and find ways within yourself to heal. It feels like the time is just as ripe for the difficulties that we've been undergoing as it is for the healing and the transformative enlightenment that we've also been undergoing. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I look forward to doing many more videos for you. Bye for now.